This is the pet peeve speech for Jim Fincher's Speech 205 online public speaking course. My name is James Henderson. This is my audience. Move so they know you're live. There you go.
He's got a blue streak?
Try not to cut his head off.
Well, it's not blocking his head.
Okay.
You hear that light sound?
All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Once again, my name is James Henderson, and as we learned in my last speech, I'm a heating and air service technician. Many of you may have noticed that in their advertisements, these companies offer 24-hour service. This service is generally provided by a service tech that is what we refer to as on-call. Being on call is a large part of being a service technician. Tonight, I'm going to talk about what the on-call system is, what it was meant to be, how its misuse is my greatest pet peeve, and why I'm stuck with it anyway. First, what the on-call system is and what it is not. Customers think that because they call the office number and you answer the phone that you must be at the office working, waiting for their phone call, and that you have access to all their records, like what their warranties are, what programs they may be on. The truth is, the office has normal business hours. It closes at 5 o'clock, everybody goes home, and the calls are just forwarded to your cell phone. Now, generally, I'll be sitting at home hoping the phone doesn't ring because I have a life too. And I don't have access to any records. All I have access to is a van. So now, how the system was meant to be used. The system was meant for emergencies. For example, things that can't wait until the next business day. Like little old ladies who have no heat and it's the dead of winter and freezing outside. Or a restaurant where it's so hot that the customers are walking out and complaining. Now when we get those calls, that's okay. I understand that there's a need for that, so I may complain a little bit, but we deal with it. Now what is really my pet peeve is when we have calls that are not an emergency. Examples of these are someone may have a large house that has multiple systems and only one of them is not working. So rather than just sleep in another room or watch TV in another room, they decide you have to come immediately. Or someone who decides that their job is more important than your family time. So they may come home, find their equipment's not working. You ask them if it's an emergency. They say, yeah, you can't wait till tomorrow because they have to work in the morning. Well, if it's not important enough for you to miss work, then to me, that must not be an emergency. Or my favorite is people who call and say, you know, my system hasn't been working for a month and I just can't wait one more night. I need you to come now. So finally, I'm stuck with these calls for a few reasons. One is competition. If one company in the area is going to do it and you don't, you're going to lose business. Another reason is if a customer calls and you tell them their problem is not important enough, then they feel like they're not valued as a customer. And they may call and complain, they may switch companies, and that can endanger your job or your pay. So now you know how those after hours calls are answered, why they are answered, when you should and shouldn't make those calls, and why we have to respond anyway. So next time you think you may need our services and it's after 5 p.m., please think before you make that call, because it's not going to be the business owner or the secretary that's going to answer the phone. It's going to be some poor sap like me who's sitting at home having dinner with his wife or trying to watch his favorite TV show or trying to just get some rest because I've already worked 12 hours that day. So, thank you for listening. Good night. And nobody left.